Faithful heart, what more could one like us? One hand to hold, long night's run. Stay with me. There's not for all time. Our souls will be entwined. I give this love, I live the joy is mine. Oh, storms may come, but we will never part. For each of us, we a faithful
Aloha and welcome. We've been invited here today to witness and share with Jeff Tabaco and Thom Watson a very important moment in their lives as they pledge their love and lifelong commitment to one another. Difficult for them as it may be, Jeff and Thom have agreed to not update their Twitter feeds or Facebook stati during the ceremony. They welcome and encourage all of you, however, to tweet away. Jeff and Thom, today you are surrounded by your friends and your family, gathered here to share in the joy of this occasion and bear witness to the promises that you're about to make. From Hawaiian tradition comes the lei, a garland of flowers or leaves given as a symbol of affection and respect. Befitting our location here on the shore of the Pacific Ocean, looking west toward the Hawaiian Islands, Jeff and Thom will exchange leis to honor each other and this joyous event. Patricia, Jeff's cousin, and Matthew, Thom's nephew, will present the leis. There's a Hawaiian expression often used during the exchange of leis at a wedding. E lei kau, e lei ho'orio, I ke aloha. Roughly translated, it means, love is worn like a lei through both the dry seasons and the rainy seasons. In other words, love is everlasting. Just as the beauty of each individual flower isn't lost when it becomes part of the lei, but is enhanced because of the strength of its bond, neither are your unique qualities diminished when you commit to each other, but they're enhanced because of the strength of your partnership. I first met Thom about 20 years ago now in a little game shop in Pentagon City, Virginia. And outwardly, we couldn't have been any more different. One of us an ultra-liberal, Harvard-educated lobbyist for public television, the other a college dropout, hard-living Air Force NCO. I'm sure the networks pitched this as a sitcom at some point. I'll leave it to you to figure out which one was which. Beyond the surface, however, it was immediately obvious that in addition to sharing some of the same tastes in life, some of the same hobbies, appreciation for things such as food and film, we shared an intellectual similarity, an outlook on life, and a great deal of philosophical ground. The hows and whys might have shown themselves differently, but the whys meshed and laid the foundation of a powerful bond that lasts to this very day. With our respective partners, we even lived in the same house for a while until the demands of service took me across the world for the next 10 years. Our communication was at times sporadic and at long intervals, but the bond never weakened. When I came back to the States and was stationed about 3 hours drive of Thom's condo, we picked right up where we left off. And it was about the same time that Jeff came into his life. Now, like all of us, Thom had had relationships, short and long, successful and not, but it was clear to me the first time that I met Jeff that the two of them had something very special. They simply clicked. It was a while until I could put my finger on what it was, but as I finally got to know Jeff better, I could see that he had the same sharp mind, keen wit, caustic sense of humor, and of course, appreciation for all things tiki. To me, even early on, they seemed like a perfect match, which of course is why we're here today. Caroline, a friend of Jeff's since elementary school, will now read excerpts from a collection of essays entitled Gift from the Sea by Anne Morrow Lindbergh.
A good relationship has a pattern like a dance and is built on some of the same rules. The partners do not need to hold on tightly because they move confidently in the same pattern, intricate but gay and swift and free, like a country dance of Mozart's. There is no place here for the possessive clutch, the clinging arm, the heavy hand, only the barest touch in passing. Now arm in arm, now face to face, now back to back. It does not matter which, because they know they are partners moving to the same rhythm, creating a pattern together and being invisibly nourished by it. When the heart is flooded with love, there is no room in it for fear, for doubt, for hesitation. And it is this lack of fear that makes for the dance. When each partner loves so completely that he has forgotten to ask himself whether or not he is loved in return. When he only knows that he loves and is moving to its music, then, and then only, are two people able to dance perfectly in tune to the same rhythm. When you love somebody, you do not love them all the time, in exactly the same way, from moment to moment. It is an impossibility. It is even a lie to pretend to. And yet, this is exactly what most of us demand. We insist on permanency, on duration, on continuity, when the only continuity possible in life as in love is in growth, in fluidity, in freedom, in the sense that the dancers are free, barely touching as they pass, but partners in the same pattern. The only real security is not in owning or possessing, not in demanding or expecting, not in hoping even. Security in a relationship lies neither in looking back to what was in nostalgia, nor forward to what it might be in dread or anticipation, but living in the present relationship and accepting it as it is now. Relationships must be like islands. One must accept them for what they are here and now, within their limits, islands surrounded and interrupted by the sea, and continually visited and abandoned by the tides. One must accept the security of the winged life, of ebb and flow. Perhaps this is the most important thing for me to take back from beach living. Simply that the memory that each cycle of the tide is valid. Each cycle of the wave is valid. Each cycle of a relationship is valid.
Regarding marriage, Anne Morrow Lindbergh went on to write, marriage, which is always spoken of as a bond, becomes actually, in this stage, many bonds, many strands of different texture and strength, making up a web that is taut and firm. The web is a fashion of love, romantic at first, then a slow-growing devotion, and playing through these, a constantly rippling companionship. It's made of loyalties and interdependencies and shared experiences. It is woven of memories of meetings and conflicts, of triumphs and disappointments. It is a web of communication, a common language, and the acceptance of a lack of language, too. A knowledge of likes and dislikes, of habits and reactions, both physical and mental. It is a web of instincts and intuitions and known and unknown exchanges. The web of marriage is made by propinquity in the day-to-day living side by side, looking outward and working outward in the same direction. Jeff and Tom, it's fitting that Lindbergh speaks of marriage as commitment as a web. After all, it was the World Wide Web that brought the two of you together, and in the first place, through your blogs. The web nurtured your early friendship, chronicled your burgeoning relationship, and even now continues to serve as a vital source of shared interests and activities, and communication. And now would be a great time for anybody that wants to tweet to go ahead. Make no mistake, this is a marriage and it needs no other qualifiers. It is a marriage because Jeff and Tom have decided it so. Marriage is the joining of hearts and minds and spirits, and no nations, no peoples, no governments can prevent or undo the bond that is formed here today. What Jeff and Tom have joined together, let no one put asunder.